We're starting off high.
We can get
I think
two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
no, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a fool page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Ladies and gentlemen,
Excuse me.
welcome back to
Welcome.
your two favorite fools.
Or at least your second favorite.
Yeah, right. I don't want to speak for everybody. How you doing tonight, Cliff?
I'm all right.
You doing all right?
I'm all right. How are you? How was your week?
It was all right, man. I mean, things get busy. You know how it is. But we got to take a trip with the fam last night. We went out to Castaway Bay up there in by Cedar Point.
Okay.
So we had a good time.
Is that like a hotel park?
Yeah, hotel, indoor water park kind of deal. So it was good.
That's
What
good
about you?
stuff.
Anything exciting this week?
Nothing exciting about a 9 to 5.
No doubt. I hear you.
That's about it. And then I get real lazy after 4.
I mean, you'll have that. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. So I get it. Oh, so how you want to get this started tonight, man? You got anything you want to lead off with inadvertent thoughts? What you thinking?
I guess we could jump right in it. Started real spicy.
Oh, started spicy. Ooh.
I'm gonna start it spicy.
You gonna start it spicy?
And being that it's Black History Month, my inadvertent thought, I think I figured out black men and white women.
Black men and white women.
I think I figured it out.
All right, let's hear this. I gotta hear it. What you got?
It's very interesting. So stick with me, right? Because this may be just as interesting as the Mason.
As the numerology.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right, I'm focused in this time. I'm with you.
Okay. So, I'm scrolling through Facebook. And I don't know if you're familiar, but they got the ignorant first black folks too.
Okay,
Memes,
like
have you seen it?
no, but I'm assuming it's like the Dave Chappelle first brother to use a white toilet.
Right.
Is that kind of thing?
It
All right.
almost hit the nail on the head. So there's one where it's the lady who's grabbing the baton out of the police's hand and scratching at his eyes, and it says first black woman first. It wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. It was like first black woman not to give a shit or something. Or,
Okay,
or
all right.
A wish a nigga would. Is what
Oh,
it was.
okay, all right. That
So-
goes back to the white folks say, I hope there's nobody in our seats when I get there.
What's that?
And then black folks be like, I wish a motherfucker would be in my seat. That's right.
Right. So listen, I see one, right, and it's of a black dude drinking out of a whites only water fountain.
Okay.
But he's like posing when he's doing it. First black dude, you know, the meme was first black dude to drink out of a whites only water.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So then I started thinking about it, and like they was talking about how like how a lot of the black leaders would indulge in white women.
Okay.
and people were saying like how it was controversial, and if you're gonna be, pro-black, how do you, indulge in white women?
In white women.
And then I thought about it, you know what I mean? Because
I mean, I got some theories, but I'm gonna hear where you go first.
so listen, this isn't just. You got to think about it from this perspective. It's not just sex with white women. This is an adrenaline rush. This is a high. Because the whole reason why this came to my mind is because when I imagine him drinking from that water fountain, something so simple as drinking water get your testosterone, your adrenaline pumping.
Because you're not supposed to be doing it. Okay.
So what's the utmost, you know what I mean? Like, this has to be next to crack cocaine, is
right.
what I'm saying.
Right.
White women back in the civil rights era had to be like white people thrill seeking, like jumping out of planes with no parachute type shit. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So
I thought it was just a way to fuck the white man.
and that could be it too. I mean, that's two birds, one stone.
That's right. You get both that way.
Two birds, one stone. Okay? So now it's not as big as an adrenaline rush. So
I hear you.
So the second part of my theory here is
it's a little more common now.
Right.
Is what
So
we're saying.
I saw another post.
Okay.
Dude from tight end from the Chiefs, Kelsey.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Has a black wife or girlfriend or whatever.
Okay.
I can understand he's a smooth white boy, so I see that. So it says white boy with black girl, has a picture of him with this bad black girl, and then it says black guy, white girl, and it's this bummy looking dude with like real baggy jeans and this fat white girl, right?
Right.
Clearly, there's no adrenaline rush about that.
There's no adrenaline rush.
But I feel like it's happened for so long. Like, basically, if that was a drug, our ancestors have been on it for so long that now it's just transferred genealogy.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
I get what you're
saying.
saying.
Like, to where it's not a point that this generation sees it as an adrenaline rush, but it's built into their psyche from the thrill seekers back in the day, if that makes sense.
I think that makes perfect sense.
And I think that's exactly why you see so many black men with white women, and it just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they look like. You know what I mean? That's just, it's almost like that's who.
It's just gets a carry through.
Right.
I hear you.
But I mean, that was my inadvertent thought of, that was one of them. I don't know if I should give out all the goods now, but yeah, that was
one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. I had the inadvertent thought today. I went down the clerk's route, and I was like, I'm not even supposed to be here.
You said you did what now?
I said I went down the clerk's route and said, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Listen.
When I was trying to get things set up, and I'm like, well, that's on you. You the one that went on vacation yesterday, so I didn't. And I was the one that offered up, let's do the show tonight. So
and I'm
it's
the one
on
that
me.
agreed to it. So
You
I'm
did.
not gonna be upset at the fact that I am missing the All-Star Skills Challenge 3-point contest and dunk contest.
See, here's the thing, though. You and I talked about this a little bit earlier, and while I understand what you're saying, the NBA must be the only sport where people give a damn about the All-Star game. I mean,
right?
Is that it? Is that what it
right.
is? Like, I was catching up on like the celebrity game last night. And again, is this the only sport where you can do a celebrity game because anybody can pick up a basketball and go shoot?
See, now, I don't know, because back in the day, if you remember, MTV had the Rockin' Jock, and they did the celebrity football, but they did flag football.
Right, but it's flag.
Right.
That's not real football.
Right.
And you don't see like a celebrity NHL game. Right?
Right. Yeah, no.
You don't even really see, I mean, really you don't even see a celebrity baseball game. Like, is it just because anybody can pick up a basketball and go, start a pickup game? Is that what it is? It's more accessible?
You know what? It is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I mean, you think about it, every other sport that you named requires equipment.
That's true. It does.
If you want to play football, well, everybody has to have a glove.
If you want to play baseball, football, everybody gotta have pads.
Baseball.
I know what you meant.
Baseball, everybody has to have a shit. Nowadays, football, everybody has to have a glove.
That goes back to our discussion last week.
Listen, everybody has to. I see quarterbacks throwing with gloves nowadays.
Right,
The shit,
right.
it's all
Everybody,
the same.
everybody.
But
And backpacks.
hockey, you gotta have pads, you gotta have a stick, you gotta have skates.
Right, you gotta have the equipment.
You at least have to have sticks and a tennis ball.
True.
We could do tennis shoes out here, but if
Do a
everybody
little
doesn't have
street
a
hockey.
stick, right,
I hear you.
then we're just
So
playing.
maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's that's accessible. I don't know.
That has to be what it is. There's no other sport where you could.
Now, I was looking up or was checking in on the All-Star game and they're really stretching the definition for celebrity, man. I saw Chance and Chance the Rapper and Common. Those were the two names I recognized.
Well, what is it? I mean, what is a celebrity anymore?
Is that the problem, that anybody can be a celebrity? I mean, we're trying, right? Right.
Because
right.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, back to my famous website, Twitter. Like, it still trips me out that you can like literally at that exact person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these people, like the whole point of a celebrity was someone that was out of reach.
I hear you.
And now that any old Joe can pick up a phone and just send a message to someone.
That doesn't mean they're going to see it, though.
No, not at all. But
it makes you feel like that goes back to accessibility and feeling like you have a voice.
Right. So are you even really a celebrity at that point if I can access you? You know what I mean? That's like somebody saying, shit, I got, like, I can't remember what it was. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers and Tristan Thompson got into it with his coach and said, I got LeBron James' number.
Right. I could just give him a call. Right.
I got Twitter.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not the same anymore. So, yeah, I guess they are celebrities. And the fact is that YouTube's taken over. Like, the YouTube star is...
I mean, you're starting to see them get major endorsement deals and that kind of stuff. Those social media influencers are who big brands are going after now to sell their products. So
fights, their fights, boxing. The Logan Paul and what's his name, CSI.
Oh,
or whatever,
yeah.
They made more than a lot of professional fighters. A lot of fighters that offered their blood, sweat, and tears for years and years.
For regular on the reg, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that goes back to our conversation a couple weeks ago about the UFC, and they're not getting paid.
Like, it's just crazy. So yeah, these people are celebrities, but it's just a matter of to what sense.
I hear you.
And I wonder. I would like to speak to a young kid now, like a 16. Like, what is a celebrity to you anymore? You know
that
what I mean?
age.
Because my idea of it and what we have right now are two different things.
Oh, no doubt. Well, and I think that's what, when I look at it, to exactly your point, like, I think celebrities have now found the long tail, which is an economic term around, it's kind of the Netflix philosophy. You can find anything in any niche category that you want,
right? Because
of accessibility now. Like, 20 years ago, you wanted to find that off-kilter foreign film, blah, blah, blah. You had no way to access it.
Right.
Now you go on Netflix and it's sitting there. It's the same way with celebrity. Like, who you view as a celebrity may not be the same people that I view as celebrity. This goes back to even what we were talking about, listening to the different podcasts we listen to, right?
Right.
Like, I like listening to the guys over at SEN and the Schmodown and that stuff. And I kind of view them as celebrities, and you would probably be like, who the hell are these people?
Well, see, I don't so much think that they're celebrities anymore. Okay, so, and this may be far off, at least my far off opinion, but once they started announcing how much the regular guy made,
yeah,
it took away from the celebrity. You know what I mean? Like when you think of a Bezos, isn't that Amazon?
Yeah.
And you
Jeff
see
Bezos.
like what he has, and it's like, oh shit.
He's one of the 3 wealthiest people in the world. Yeah.
And then that's when it hits you, and you're like, oh, So Will Smith isn't a celebrity. He's just trying to get by like the rest of us. He
I hear what
just
you're
makes
saying.
more than we do.
Right. But he ain't making Jeff Bezos in that.
Exactly. So it's like, well, who's the celebrity? You know, like who is the more awe? Like I would be more in awe of Jeff Bezos than Will Smith for multiple reasons. Because first of all, why the fuck is Jeff Bezos here? You know what I mean? What are you doing? Walking down James and you know what I mean?
But you can see yourself running into Will Smith down there on James and Cleve.
No, you won't see either. You won't see either.
Right.
But I'd be more likely to see Will Smith down there than
That's probably
Jeff
true.
Bezos.
That's probably true. He might have some family around here.
Jeff Bezos has a truck, like a, what do you call it? Like the president fleet convoy.
Gotcha.
Security.
Yeah.
Man, stop.
Right.
And they're all asleep in their Teslas, driving in perfect formation.
Well, that's because their Teslas are driving themselves.
Right. but in perfect formation, though.
Right. Looking like a flying V going down 270. I hear you.
That's the celebrity. That's who I'm in awe of.
Right.
I seen you on TV. But everybody's on TV now.
Or on YouTube.
Hey, Mom.
Right. I hear you. That's not wrong.
This isn't anything anymore.
You right. I got nothing, man. You absolutely right. And I think that goes back to, like, yeah, what constitutes a celebrity anymore?
That's why I would like to have, like, a young kid. But not just any kid. You know what I mean? It has to be, like, a hype beast, trendsetter type kid. Well, what is...
An influencer.
Or one that you would think would be in your class of...
Right.
Age range.
Who are you looking up to get the latest whatever?
Or do you at all?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or do you look up to anyone at all? Because it's almost to the point now that these younger kids have tapped into something that the whole world didn't even know was out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you couldn't
the highest viewed people on YouTube are people playing video games, and it's
little
like
kids.
people watching other people play video games, which I just don't understand.
Fuck that. I'm looking at the little 6 and 7 year old kids giving toy reviews.
Right.
Thinking to myself, I'm looking at my daughter like, do fucking something. Like, do something. Like, I don't know. Do something. These kids are making millions.
I mean, maybe we just need to have her come up here and be on the podcast.
She might get more views than that.
Probably. She could be part of the Foolproof Entertainment Network. She could be on our network of shows. We could get something going for her.
Listen, she about to be reviewing toys, y'all. I'm telling you that right now. Toys. What?
Toys, TV shows. What else? What you got? Clothes.
I haven't seen that.
Like a kid's review of TV shows. You see that with adults all over the place. That's how the Schmoes crew started, was movie reviews and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Especially if you did it live, like, what was that? Science Mystery Theater?
Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah.
I always watch the dyslexic version, so. Or maybe the TV was upside down. I don't know.
That could be it.
But we're talking about the same show.
Yeah.
Or maybe.
No, we are.
Okay.
I hear you.
But yeah, no, man, that's why I would like to do something like that with the fights. Like, I know we can't show them.
No, but we could videotape us watching the fights and doing commentary or something. Like, we can. That's easy enough. We could put a TV right there on that wall. I've got cable hookup and everything up here.
Right.
We could do that. Like, do exactly what we're doing, except we're watching the fight.
Man, stop. I think that would be, and then they can hear the audio. Or we could cut the audio.
We would
in
probably
and out
have to cut. Yeah,
you can't listen to the whole.
Well, no, because that's what YouTube will flag. They got all
Right.
sorts of algorithms to
And
look at
I don't want you over me talking anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The whole point
It'll
of
be,
that
oh shit!
Right.
Did you see that?
The whole point of that is so you don't listen to the regular commentators.
Right.
The
We're
boring...
more entertaining than the regular commentators.
Listen,
I tell you what, I talked about that all the time, man. Watching football games, TV commentators for football don't know shit.
Man,
unless you're lucky enough to get like Romo or somebody.
Commentators in
like,
general.
They don't know jack.
I want to know who it was that got in on the ground floor of being a commentator who has not participated in the sport. Like, how is that even a thing? Like, you should, like, I feel like if you are a commentator and you've never played the sport and you talk bad about someone that has, they should be able to pull off their glove and smack you with it.
Right.
And challenge you to pros versus
pros
duel.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
I forgot about that show.
Right.
Oh, man.
But a duel.
I challenge you to a duel.
You know what I mean? Like if Richard Sherman was to come here to this specific address and
basically say he would lock you down.
Right. Pros versus Joe style. I'd be out there with my cane. Shit, I'd still get a catch in the way he looked on the
bull. No.
Cuts.
I can't get behind you. Fools do not agree on that one, my friend.
I'm going to get a catch. I don't care if it's a reverse. I'm going to get a catch. I don't care if I have to run behind the quarterback. I'm going to get a reception.
Let's call it a pitch.
Call it what you want. Technicalities. It's a catch.
Right.
My hands caught that ball. Rich.
You gonna call him Rich?
Call him Little Richard.
Jeez.
Call him Little Richard. Catch the ball and just drop it on his chest. Try better next time, Little Richard.
I might have to look this up, but I'm willing to bet Richard Sherman's taller than you.
Definitely.
So I don't know if you call him Little Richard.
No, because my aura.
Oh, what color is your aura?
What color is it? It's bright, so it's like a turquoise.
Okay.
It's like a greenish blue.
I don't really know anything about auras, but I figured you would be
blue.
able to go into that a little bit for me.
I've never seen my aura. You'd have to tell me. How am I shining right now?
I can tell you how you were shining on that first episode. taking your shirt off before 10 o'clock.
Right, you right on that. Motherfucker was shining all right.
Oh, man. Quick shout out to my boy Jake. Jake out in D.C. in the house. He was on the chat.
What's going on, Jake?
Apparently he said something inappropriate because his message was redacted according to YouTube. So, Jake, I love you, buddy. I'm sorry that YouTube said no to you. I got nothing, man. He was probably chiming in about hockey and about the All-Star game after we were on the All-Star game trip.
Listen, I could only imagine what that message said.
Right. Well, I mean, it's always a good time with Jake.
Man.
Not enough times together. That's the problem. Jake would be another good one that he ever comes out to Columbus. We get him on the show.
Right.
I would sit back and watch the two of you go back and forth on stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, I feel like we'd have to have a Patreon for that. Like we'd
have to have a Patreon. We
can't just put that out on regular YouTube. It'd have to be people
that would cost $10 a video.
That has to be people that are willing, that know us and are willing to listen. Don't take any of this out of context.
I got
what
you.
I'm saying. Can't YouTube that. If they blocked his message.
No, he came back and he said, "Nah, I deleted it."
Okay.
So he might.
That might be the same thing. Maybe that was his inner monologue.
He was blocking him. That was his inner monologue, blocking himself.
Right. He has a mute button. See me, I probably would be like,
I'm just gonna put this out here.
Click.
Yes, sir.
Shit. I don't listen to the mute buttons.
You don't listen to them?
That's
not what you do?
No mute buttons for me. What about your, did you have an inadvertent this week?
I mean, I didn't have anything that, stuck out with me. I will say that a couple articles caught my eye this week on the news. There was something about the Voyager 2 satellite that was launched, I think, back in the 70s, early 80s. It was only designed to last for 5 years, and it's been basically transmitting for 42, 43.
Right.
And all I could think of is, this is the plot to the original motion picture Star Trek.
Is that?
It's basically what happens because the Voyager satellite comes back and it basically destroys things in its path on its way back to Earth. And that was one of those things because I used to do a series on like Facebook or Twitter where I do like Skynet Watch. Mm-hmm. Like anytime my alma mater over there at CMU would do something DARPA related or defense program related with AI and robots and shit, it was like, this is how Skynet starts, ladies and gentlemen. This is how it goes live, and it comes back to get us all.
How do I know that you're not a robot?
That's true.
Carnegie
I might be a synthetic myself.
I might have
That's been a big theory in the. That's a big part of the new Picard series too.
I might have to $150 your face off.
You don't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that. What do you think? I'm a Terminator?
Down would be looking at you the whole time.
Trust me, if I was a Terminator, I wouldn't be getting this fat.
Pictures of my phone. Let you get the red eye on one of these pictures and see if I don't find something to cut your face open with.
Carnegie Mellon.
Congratulations. To the 2020 Carnegie Mellon class.
There you go. Giving a shout out to the class of 2020. I wonder what their tuition is.
Oh, there's a reason behind it.
Because mine was like 60,000 when I left. They got to be up to like 80,000 a year.
Listen, you're telling yourself. You're telling yourself, sir. I feel like you may have some pistons under that forearm. Back to the class of 2020 Carnegie Mellon. Close friends of them. Cut them in their sleep.
Easy.
But we gotta check these. We gotta check them now.
That's true. They could be assimilated and everything.
Right. Cut them in their. No, I'm just playing.
The two fools do not advocate the use of violence in the case of robotics. In fact, we'd like to welcome our new android overlords.
I was about to agree until I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Oh man, It's too much.
Where were we?
Well, we talked about the celebrity all-star game a little bit. We talked about that.
Back to the celebrity all-star game. Just one quick thought on that. Common got the player of the game.
He's also the most famous person in the game.
And he's from Chicago as well.
Right.
I feel like that was it from the start.
But he wasn't the only one from Chicago, though. I thought there was more than just him from Chicago.
Isn't the Lil Rel might be from Chicago? The comedian.
Yes, I saw that the comedian was also from...
Yeah, I think he's from Chicago.
But I didn't recognize that name, so I figured they just found him on the streets of Chicago, and he said he was a comedian.
He's from, I don't know, he's from Get Out.
Okay, he was in Get Out?
He was the friend in Get Out with the glasses.
You're right.
He was in the Carmichael Show, 2-3 seasons. And then he tried to do his own show, fell off drastically.
That's terrible. You hate to see that happen.
I mean, his comedy, I guess, did okay. I didn't care for it.
You weren't a big fan.
Yeah, but I mean, to each their own. I mean, he's all right. He's all right in movies. I like his acting more than I like him
as a stand-up or anything like that.
Right.
You seen any good stand-ups lately? It's been a while for me, outside of Chappelle and. I like the stuff Eliza Schlesinger does.
So I was watching Bill Burr.
Okay, was that Paper Tiger or whatever? Is that his? It wasn't the most recent one. Oh, okay.
I didn't. If that's the one I'm thinking of, I didn't like that one as much. I think the one I'm thinking of, he did in all black and white.
I don't know, because the last two I listened to his, I had, it was on Netflix, but I had my phone so I wasn't really watching it.
That's what it was. See, it's funny because this is how I knew that he was funny as hell, is because I was on my phone watching it, like turned Netflix on, was scrolling through Facebook, passed out. He laughed me out of my sleep.
He woke you up?
I heard something in my dream.
You hadn't gotten to the point where Netflix says, "Are you sure you want to keep watching?"
No.
Get your ass up off the couch and go to bed.
We were still in motion.
Gotcha.
Heard something. woke up laughing, and continued watching. Now I believe if I'm not,
He's a white man that's married to a black woman.
he is. I mean,
He talks about that a lot in his most recent stand-up.
that's not a common thing.
It's not as common, definitely.
You know, I mean, no, it's not a common thing. I'm not gonna give my reasoning behind that.
No?
No.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not gonna give my reasoning behind that. That's not a common thing. There's not a.
Where are you going with this? Come
let's just
on.
say there's not a lot of you up for the task.
We don't. Well, I don't disagree with that.
Right. Can two fools agree there?
Yes, two fools can agree there.
Because listen, I'm just being honest. It's not a lot up for the task. And
I dated a couple.
Oh yeah, you had some on your track record.
We're gonna leave that one there, though.
Yeah,
that was probably. I'm sorry for pushing you on that one. So, where were we? Bill Burr. Bill Burr.
Right.
What was good about Bill Burr's latest? Not his latest, but I guess his second latest special.
It was It was a filmataga. It was great. It was great. It was great. Oh,
it's gonna be great.
Not the latest one. Not the latest one, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I mean, you might like it, but whichever one was black and white, it'll laugh you out your sleep. If you're trying to get a good night's sleep, don't put the Bill Burr on.
Don't put it on.
Don't put it on.
Yeah, I was trying. It's been a while since I've seen a good one. Like, I liked Ali Wong. Did a couple last year. Obviously, the 3 or 4 from Chappelle.
Yeah, she's funny.
I like Eliza. Bill Burr's good. We watched the what's her name, Alana Glazier from one of the girls from Broad City. Hers I had to walk away from. I was just like, it just. See, my wife, I think, stayed up and watched it, and I find them funny in that situation. That's
in the show,
in the comedy that they do in the show. Did not find her antics as funny, like, on stage as a
Is that the
stand-up.
curly-haired one, or is
yeah,
that the...
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel
Who
like...
Who also, by the way, is Miss Noodle on Sesame Street these days.
She's getting that Sesame Street check.
Which is funny, just because her character in Broad City, and then to see her, like, on...
Right.
Sesame Street on HBO, and I'm like, wait a minute.
You might have just fucked their money up. They're like, somebody knows, we gotta let you go. She getting that sesame seed bun.
Right, no doubt.
She
got that Big Bird money.
Listen, I'm not mad at you.
Hey, do what you gotta do. Like I said, I was just surprised to, we're watching Broad City one night, and then the next Saturday or Sunday, I turn on the TV with my son, and
yeah, I'm not mad
there
at
she
her.
is again.
Just check her. Just make sure she doesn't get strung out on drugs. You know those kid shows usually drive you to drugs.
Oh, it would drive me to drugs. It drives me to drink them after I have to watch more than a couple.
I can't watch them.
Well, luckily your daughter's old enough now that you really don't have to anymore. Although I know you got nephews and
I think to myself, like, I watch 15 minutes of it, and I'm like, well, looks like you're about to grow up fast. We're changing the channel. I'm not watching this shit here. We're changing the channel.
There are a couple that I could deal with. Like, a lot of the Netflix, DreamWorks shows, whether it's like the How to Train Your Dragons or that kind of stuff. Like, they're all right. They're not terrible.
How to Train Your Dragon? I don't think I saw that. I mean, yeah,
I'm a fan.
It's Pixar has some bangers.
Yeah.
I never seen I know what you're talking about, but I never saw that. I think my daughter has, though.
Yeah.
What's the last Pixar banger that I've seen? I think it was that. Was it Pets? Secret Life of Pets?
That's either DreamWorks or Illumination.
Oh, those aren't all the...
No.
Okay, so Pixar was the first to drop that style, so I put all
But you put
them,
everybody in that style.
Like, if it looks like that kind of movie,
I hear
Pixar.
Well, and the problem is Pixar does it better than anybody else still, at least in my opinion. So they've done like Coco, all the Toy Stories. You love Coco.
Man.
I could tell.
Coco is my shit. Yeah, Coco
Remember to me.
You stop
Well,
it.
I have to grab a phone.
You stop it before I hit
Are you
the
gonna
movie.
cry? Are you gonna cry?
No, I'll never like it again.
Remember me.
Listen. No, I like Coco. Coco, so I guess that's after
Two
Pets.
fools can agree on that one.
Right, that's after the Secret Life of Pets.
But that's not... Secret Life of Pets isn't Pixar, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we circled back around to that.
So...
Yeah, you said that, and I completely...
You completely ignored me, which is,
I tend to
half,
do that.
half of our conversation, so that's cool.
I pick out what's right and what's wrong in my own head.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
So if you start saying something and it would be 100% correct, if I don't like the way it sounds, I tune it out. and I'm cold with it too.
Right.
I'll look right at your lips too, like this.
I don't agree.
And I have no idea what it is I don't even know what you said. You could say anything. That'd probably be your best time to insult me.
Right.
Because
I'm gonna have to keep that in mind when I start seeing that look. I'll just look out for that look.
And
Like
you probably get it right off, and I'll probably be looking right at you like this, not know what goes on.
I don't know, man.
But other than Coco,
Well, they got Coco. They got Up. They got
okay, no ups. I can't say Up, no ups. I've never seen it.
okay.
I always
It's
fall
sad.
asleep on it.
It starts off sad, and then it's honestly outside of
Yes,
the
fall
sad
asleep
part
on
of the
it.
first 5-10 minutes
When he loses his old
his
lady.
wife. Yeah, like I'm not a big fan of the movie after that, so I hear you. But people love that movie.
No pun intended. She lived a long life.
It's true. She did.
Lived a long life.
But yeah, you got Coco.
And then he
That's a good
flew
one.
away with a little Boy Scout. I don't think I like Pixar.
But they also did what's the Emotions movie? Why am I blanking on it?
Inside
Inside
with the
Out.
dots.
Inside
Mhm.
Out with
Yeah.
Amy Poehler as Joy.
I have no idea who that is. I've never seen it.
You never seen Inside
No.
Out? That's another good one.
Yeah, I never saw. Yeah, that one haven't partaken. What about Boss Baby? What about Sing?
I can't stand Boss Baby.
What about Sing? Yeah, I wasn't that good. with
Sing?
Boss Baby.
Sing is not Pixar. That's
Not
another
Pixar?
DreamWorks one,
Okay.
I think.
I think I like DreamWorks too, though.
So DreamWorks does Shrek. They did How to Train Your Dragon, which How to Train Your Dragon's probably the best DreamWorks
Is it?
because there's a series of like 3 movies.
Right.
And the last scene in the last movie,
What
if you know what I'm
about-
talking
no, that's
about,
Pixar.
it tears you up. What?
No. Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. is Pixar. Monsters Inc., Monsters University.
You know what? These non-creative sons of bitches in Hollywood that keep making movies that have already been made over and over and over and over again need to bring back the Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised because everything else has been remade at
Like
this
in
point. I mean, shit, they've got a new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids coming out.
Do they?
Yeah.
But yeah, like in a new Pixar style.
A new Pixar style Brave Little Toaster.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was rumors that they were doing that at one point, and I don't know if somebody else picked it up or what happened.
Well,
with
they
it,
must have
but-
dropped it because what happened?
Right. I don't think there was ever anything that came out.
Shit, I love the Brave Little Toaster. You know what? I talk a whole lot of shit about them remaking movies that have been out before, but once it gets too far past a certain quality, like resolution quality,
Yeah.
I won't watch it anymore.
Oh, you mean like if you go too far back,
Right,
you're just
and it's
like, you
like, oh
can't
my
watch it.
God.
Well, that's
Like,
why.
unless it's way, way back, you know what I mean? Like vintage, like old school.
But that's
like,
exactly why they do like the HD remasters and stuff.
And they
Like
need
they've
to.
already done. I've got a Blu-ray of Back to the Future downstairs. Like, so
Yeah,
I think
you
that's
can do
why
that.
they go. The problem is sometimes when they go back and they do that, like in Terminator. Terminator in HD looks awful.
Really? Why? Oh, because
Because the robot, like you can tell, like the
Right.
robot is just It's
it
not
was,
good. You can tell.
CGI'd and all that.
It was fine though, but it was fine when you were in normal definition. It was fuzzy. I mean,
I thought it looked all right.
Right, but now when it's in HD, you can tell how janky it looks.
You would be the guy to get terminated.
Is that because I'm an android?
See, you just wanted to see your cousin. I bet you got iRobot down there too, don't you? Don't give me that bullshit. You're a Will Smith fan.
Well, I am a fan of Will Smith.
Man, somebody cut this man's face.
I got the iRobot. I got Short Circuit. I got. Does anybody remember Short Circuit?
And everybody else. These are fictional entertainment movies. Everybody. These are home movies and memories to this man. You know what I'm saying? He's
it's
wearing
me and Watson.
He's wearing the proof right now as we speak. It's right in front of us.
Oh yeah, I do have a.
You're not fooling anybody, Carnegie.
You know.
Yeah, you're not fooling anybody, Carnegie.
I don't have to.
Andrew Carnegie.
That's why my son's name is Andrew.
Is it?
No. He is named after my father, and by my father I mean my creator.
He went to. That was one of them times. You almost could have.
I almost had you.
Almost could have. Listen.
What?
It's making sense now.
What's making sense? Our entire history?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to play back memory file 3792?
Right. Right. There's probably a little you inside of your head on a Minority Report screen like...
What was that? Men in
Throwing
Black?
shit.
Men in Black where it was the little one.
Right. Yep. That's the way I see it.
Oh, man.
Listen, watch. You watch it.
So speaking of watch it.
You watch it. I'm trying to... Mm-hmm.
Have you watched any of the XFL? You caught any games, anything?
I watch pieces.
Yeah.
And that's not anything against the XFL. More so to my ADD to football. Like, I really I guess I have a disdain for football. Like, it's just not...
You're just over it.
Yeah, like...
I kind of go through the same thing. I hear you.
I'm just not, like, there's... But I will say that some of what I did watch, I was impressed with Cardell Jones.
Oh, yeah?
I was impressed. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds his way back onto an NFL roster.
You think he can do enough there to kind of show what he's got?
To be a good second string quarterback.
He could probably. I mean, I don't see why he couldn't be a second string quarterback somewhere.
I can't really see him starting.
The thing though is if he wants to play, I mean the XFL will be around for at least another week or two.
Right. They're not gonna get through their whole season. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that made it are gonna keep the rings and cash them in at the end of the.
Well, I mean it's Vince McMahon. Like it's his shit.
Listen, he probably had the rings from the first time around and was like, you know what?
He just melted down a couple of championship belts. Made a whole set of rings from one WWE championship belt.
He probably kept the same name. Probably kept the same name and everything.
Well, speaking of names, you want to play a little game here?
A little game.
We're going to play a little game. It's called, is this a XFL team or did I make it up?
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready for this game.
Let's see what we can do here.
Hopefully you don't name any of the ones that I think I
already know or saw.
But I may not know them, though. Okay, let's go. I'm with it.
All right. What about the DC Destroyers? XFL team, or did I make it up?
That's real.
I made that one up.
Did you make that up?
Because the one they have is even worse. The DC Defenders.
That's what okay. I knew it was something. That was the Cardell Jones team.
Is that what it was?
He plays for DC. That's why I was like, okay, I think I got this one. And you still got me.
You know?
Vince. All right, what's next? What's next?
The Dallas Legion.
That's right.
No.
That's not
I said
right.
Legion as in Legion of Doom. That's a WWE tag team from back in the day.
And that sounds so Vince
It's
to me.
it's the Dallas Renegades.
Oh, I think
maybe they should have come to me for the names.
That sounds Vince to me. Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's see if
I'm
you
not
get
good
this
at
one.
this game.
We'll see if you get this one. The Houston Roughnecks.
That's right.
That is right.
That's
that one
right.
is right. I thought about just going all fake ones to see if you would catch on.
That's right.
Oh, all right. What about the LA Tomcats?
Ooh, Tomcats. If I say no and it's yes, I'm putting in PTO time to fly to LA. The LA Tomcat. That might fit though. That might be fitting. Is that right? Is that really them?
It is not.
Okay.
It is
I'm
close
glad.
though. It's the LA Wildcats.
Okay. Listen, if that Tomcats, that changes everything.
That's true.
Changes everything now. Okay. Well,
all right. Here we go.
be.
The New York Guardians.
That is the truth.
That's the truth.
Mhm.
That is the truth.
I remember hearing that.
All right, let's see this
Dumb
one.
name, but
The St. Louis Battletoads.
something in me wants to say that's true, but I'm gonna go with false.
So the Battletoads were what? A ripoff of the Ninja Turtles from the 90s. So no, it's not the Battletoads.
Oh, I remember the Battletoads. The Battletoads.
No,
I'm
it's
fighting out a writer.
it is the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Okay.
St. Louis Battlehawks.
Battlehawks. What's a
Yeah.
Battlehawk?
Fuck if I know, man. That's why
Eagle.
Battletoads sounded just as good as the real name.
An eagle's a Battlehawk, I would imagine.
Something like that, maybe.
The
Or maybe it's just a
indigenous
really.
used to use eagles to hunt.
Did they?
They say an eagle can kill a full-grown wolf.
That's something I'd like to see on YouTube in some
I think
way.
there's
I might
a
have to look
YouTube
that up.
video of an eagle killing a wolf. I don't think it
You
was
have
a
to catch a-
full-grown wolf.
Oh,
that
like a
it
pup.
killed. It wasn't a pup, but it wasn't a full. It wasn't like a big boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're vicious. I didn't know that that you could train them to kill. That might be the best. Okay, let me not give any ideas. But if you did grow up to be a hitman and had good animal training skills, I'd imagine you'd have the best career ever. You're like that's like a. Who was the first dude to kill somebody like a man with the eagle? He was like the indigenous Obama.
Oh. What are you saying?
He did the first drone strike.
Oh. Too much. Too much.
He's like the indigenous Obama out here. Okay, I'll stop.
I need you to find 0076.
Man, oh shit, where were we at?
We got two more teams, but really quick, out to my man Jake out in the chat. He did know what I was talking about with Short Circuit. Johnny 5, that's right. Johnny 5 is alive. And then he said, "Wait, you actually thought for a second that they would name a team the Battletoads?"
Listen, I mean, we're dealing with Vince.
That's true.
We're
That's
dealing
true.
with Vince here.
He's done crazier shit.
He's a troll like Trump, so I feel like he's gonna slide in the little.
He had a gay tag team called Chuck and Billy there for a while.
Did he?
So yeah, Billy Gunn used to be known as one of the members of DX.
I don't remember.
You don't remember Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, the Outlaws, the New Age Outlaws?
I remember a Road Dogg, I believe.
His partner was Billy Gunn. And then
he's
after they broke up, Billy Gunn became part of a gay angle with somebody else, is Chuck and Billy.
Chuck and Billy. Chuck and Larry.
Yeah, Chuck and Larry would be Adam Sandler and Kevin James.
Okay. That would have been fun.
I mean, why are you sweating? I peeled an orange. about an hour ago.
What was that?
That's from Kevin James' stand-up. Why you sweating? I'm big, man. I don't need a reason to sweat.
Right. Listen.
All right, let's see what else we got.
There's more teams?
We got 2 more teams. The Seattle Dragons.
That is correct. I know there's somebody named a dragon.
Yeah, that's correct.
I knew that. I remember seeing their helmets. Not the best helmets, by the way.
No.
Not the best helmets.
Well, who else? There's a University of Alabama, Birmingham. UAB was the Dragons for a while. I don't know if they still are.
Awful helmets.
Yeah, bad.
Who's it? What?
I feel like Dragons would be a good mascot, though. It just doesn't pan out on the
you almost
helmet.
caught me.
Why?
I'm not even good at
What were you gonna say?
nothing at all.
See, this doesn't make for interesting TV when you do that.
No.
You just need to let it go, Cliff.
No.
Let it go. Let it go.
Won't be letting it go there.
All right, the last one. The Tampa Bay Anacondas.
No.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no.
But can you imagine the merchandise?
No. Yeah, no.
Sir Mix-a-Lot does the music every time they come out.
He's stupid. Nicki Minaj out there for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Whatever the XFL equivalent of the Super Bowl is. Did they even get to a championship game last time?
J-Lo covered in blood could be their mascot.
Looking like Gangrel.
Listen, I'm just saying.
It is the Tampa Bay Vipers. It's the Tampa Bay Vipers is the last one. I was looking up tickets just to see what they were, and like you can get good seats for $90, but you're still asking to pay $90 for a second, a D League NFL team.
They can be shut down by the time you get through the line at the.
Well, last time, all right, this is the second time around with the XFL. Did the XFL even make it through the season the last time around? They shut down like halfway through the season, right?
They could be shut down before you hand your ticket and they hand it back to you.
Right.
Like, oh, it's canceled. Didn't even make it to halftime, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Didn't even get to the mid-season.
Listen.
But I mean, that's what I had.
The XFL game?
That was all I got for the XFL.
See. Let me check to see what else I had going. And I'm missing just.
Well, actually, let's do this. Let's take a quick 2 to 5 minute break, our usual mid-tier break, and
we can do that.
We'll come back and we'll either wrap up the show or we'll come up with some other bullshit to talk about.
Sure.
Hey, if you're out there in the live chat tonight, give us some shouts on some topics. We're this is a little bit of an off week for us. There wasn't a ton of news. There wasn't a ton of stuff to cover. But give us a shout in the chat, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Yo, welcome back
Hey,
to Do Fools Agree. All right. Hey, man, what do you think about the new intro music?
I
How you feeling it?
I like it.
I do too.
I
That's
do
our
like
that's
it.
our boy. What is is it still Beat Geek Productions or whatever, or is he doing something else now? I
know
know
Beat
that's what
Geek.
he was calling it for a while, but
No, he was, what was it? Beat Titans, I believe.
okay. Well, that's our
Is
boy
what it
Aaron down
was.
in Atlanta. He was kind enough to pull together a new instrumental track for us. You know, he did a lot of our background music back in the day when Cliff was more of a recording artist, and when we used to use this space to record music instead of shoot a podcast. So appreciate it, Aaron. Shout outs. Check them out on I think they're Ninja Audio on YouTube. They got their own little podcast show going.
They do.
And
They do.
yeah, man, we appreciate it. We know we appreciate you looking out for us. And I'd like to shout out my boy TC, Tony, um, who's also taking a look at some stuff for us in terms of new logo, new art, that kind of thing. So hopefully here in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to debut some new stuff. And then once we get the new logo and the new cover for the podcast art, we're going to start looking at probably new layouts for the show itself. So
But yeah, no,
see what we can do.
Definitely shout out to Aaron for making the beat as well as him on his podcast. I know it's him, Turk in Madness. They are the fucking Nobody's podcast. However, I believe it's FStarCKING Nobody's podcast.
That's not great for SEO. I'm just going to put that out there for them. Search engine optimization.
You're a
but
standout.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's definitely it's not the easiest to find.
Right. But I mean, again, shout out, man. We appreciate it. We know you always looking out for us when you can, and we appreciate it. Next time you're up in Columbus, we'll definitely get together and have you up on the show.
For sure. For surely. Where we at? What's next? What we talking?
So we got a couple of different things. You want to chat on this movie, The Hunt?
Yeah,
and talk about
explain the background.
Explain the controversy.
Right.
So The Hunt was supposed to be a movie that came out. It was either last year or the year before, and they pulled it at the last minute because it became the center of a lot of political rhetoric, for lack of a better term. It was right after, go figure, we're here in America, another 2 or 3 mass shootings that all occurred kind of back to back to back. It was probably, I don't know, Orlando and then Vegas and then something else. And because of the content of the movie, politicians were using it as an example of something that was contributing to these mass shootings. You know, they don't want to talk about gun laws, but they'll talk about entertainment medium and those kind of things all the time. Mm-hmm. So, and you and I think probably have different views on gun rights and those kind of things, but I don't know that for a fact. I just assume so. But yeah, they made the decision. They made the decision to pull the movie. So the movie dropped a new trailer this week, and they're really leaning into the controversy, which I can't blame them for.
Right.
But you know, looking at the content of the trailer itself, like I'm not seeing why this was used as the herald of the harbinger of evil from politicians. Like it's a movie that it feels like it's been done before.
Well, I can tell you that right now. GTA didn't drop and no good rap music came out.
Right.
So let's find the next best thing.
It's true.
Let's blame it on the video
There was no Grand Theft Auto 6.
Right. Let's blame it on the rap music. Let's blame it on anything we can blame it on. But
you're right.
Like, come on. And I watched the trailer. I did watch the trailer, and like I said before, I thought it was in good taste. I didn't think that there was anything, triggering about it. But I mean, if we're talking about crazy people in the first place, then isn't everything triggering? Can't anything be triggering? You know what I mean?
Well, this goes back to just, our... Yes, I agree with what you're saying.
Like, I
think anything can be considered triggering to someone.
Then why do we have to stop the way we live, the way the world turns?
Well, and I think that's it's funny. We were talking about Bill Burr earlier, and his latest special, along with Chappelle's, they both talk about that cancel culture and like how it's triggering to me and blah blah blah. You know what? Yeah, people are gonna say shit that pisses you off or makes you feel sad or X, Y, and Z, and you know what? You got to learn how to deal with it. That's life. I'm sorry, that's life. Like, and I do think that this was just used as a scapegoat in terms of just the timing of everything and blah blah blah. It doesn't make it right. There was a lot of controversy about the fact the studio pulled it back at that point.
My whole thing is beyond the movie, more so about the kids. Like, learn to fight. You know what I mean? Learn to fight. And this
goes back to everybody. Kids these days, and I talk about it all the time. I've coached at 2 different high schools over the last 3 or 4 years. One school, I know the kids have been told how special they were their whole lives.
Right.
And the other school, I know they were told they were shit their whole lives. And you know which one I like coaching? Was definitely the ones that got told that they were shit their whole lives because they appreciated the fact we were there and they appreciated everything that we did. The other school that I'm talking about,
they heard
right
before wrong.
Right.
If I wasn't shit, why would they be here caring about me?
Right. Now the flip side of that is when you go and tell a kid that he ain't shit compared to other people in his position or other people in the same or that are going for the same things he is, he ain't trying to hear that.
Right.
So it's the same idea, and it's just something. It's different these days, man. Like,
I just feel like learn to fight. Just learn to fight. Like, I don't care if we're talking about my child. I would much rather you punch my child in the face than shoot my child because you're upset about something.
I hear you.
Learn to fight.
Right.
Just learn to throw a punch.
Well, that was always the line, like when we were growing up, was you don't get in fights because you don't know if they're bringing a gun to the fight or not.
Right, and I get that.
It kind of started then. Now it's like no one's even talking about fighting. We going straight to fucking
artillery,
AKs and whatever else. Bringing
let's armor up.
Right.
Let's go shoot some shit up for no reason. Like whatever happened to just hitting someone.
It goes back to access, man.
And once again, I don't want to sound like I'm just condoning violence, but I will reiterate, I much rather you hit my child or any of the children I love than shoot them.
Absolutely.
And that can be forgiven. Most of the time, I made friends with a lot of the people that we got into physical altercations with. So it was like, it just doesn't make sense to me that we've gone so far from where we used to be that we're turned upside down to that pistols are the norm. Assault rifles are the norm. If you piss me off, I'll go get a gun.
Where before it used to be just handle your business in the schoolyard or in the parking lot after school.
Period.
Right, or just off of school grounds, right? Like go meet in the park next door or whatever the case was.
Like what? And nobody got hurt too much.
Right.
Everybody went home.
You either went home pissed off or you went home hurt.
It doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, it didn't really solve anything, but like you got it all out. Right, exactly. And the thing is like, I don't know.
More times than not, you end up having a respect for that person after it's over.
Right. It's either I fucked up and I got my ass whooped, or I got the better of him or he got the better of me, which that could be different on any given day, but it did create that respect.
Sometimes it's just punching a heavy bag. I got my aggression out. Right. I don't care who won. I got hits in, he got hits in, we're cool now.
Right. And for me, I mean, it was I was always big on. I proved it in the weight room, man. Like that was always my thing. Like, didn't come to blows too often.
Nor should you.
Let's get out there and let's just show who's the bigger man, who's stronger, who's whatever. And that's
I'm not
cocky
saying
masculine bullshit, but it was what it was, and that was how I like to settle things. Because honestly, when you're my size, people either don't want to fight, or if they're as big as you are, we both are thinking, no one's coming out of this for the better. Like, and it's funny, my boy Jake's in the chat, and he and I got into it one night, just joking around, really. and we roughhoused a little bit because I had this UFC championship belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hip tossed him out in the backyard one night while we were drinking. And he came, he looked at me the next morning. He's like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "I feel like shit. I feel like I threw 400 pounds." And he looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, I feel fine." I'm like, "That's the thing when you're that big. Nobody's coming out of it better for the wear. Doesn't matter who won."
He was fine.
He was. I was hurting.
Listen, he was better for the wear.
He was.
Now the dickhead who tried to hip toss the guy.
Yeah, but I won. I won the quote unquote fight that night.
Mm-hmm. But who won the war the next morning?
He did. He usually did.
That's all I'm saying.
You're not wrong.
Brains and brawn.
Right.
No what doubt. Do they say? What do they call it? They say even they used to say that bullshit in football. I don't agree. 80% mental, 20% physical, or some bullshit
something like that. Yeah.
It bullshit.
Anyways, back to the hunt. Like, I watched the trailer for it, and I tell you what, I think it looks like an entertaining movie. I think it's got good elements of comedy. It's got I can't think of his name, but he's in Blockers. He's been in a bunch of stuff. One of those generic looking white dudes.
I know Blockers. I know what you're talking about.
It's obviously not Cena. It's the other guy.
Right, with the little gap.
Right,
in the squinty eyes.
He's in a bunch of stuff. Like he was
squinty.
in the Mindy
like
Project.
A comedy Clint Eastwood.
Kinda.
A young comedy Clint Eastwood.
I guess I could see that. I don't know if I agree with that, but I guess I could see it.
Yeah.
I think you and I are talking. It's definitely the gap tooth dude.
Yes, yeah.
Look, I don't remember what his name is, but he's entertaining. I think he's funny. And the fact that he's in it and he's got some one-liners in the trailer, I'm like, this looks like a funny take on stuff that has been done before.
Is he a rich guy or is he the regular?
He's got to be he's always the regular dude.
Okay.
Like, that's just the character he plays. He's very typecast in the shit that he does.
Right.
He ends up doing a lot of the same shit. But I think it looks entertaining. I'm probably not going to go out and see it, but I'll catch it when it hits the streaming networks or HBO or whatever.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to go see it. I mean, it, like you said, it did look good, but it wasn't worth. I don't go to the movies a lot.
I only really go, like, if, we're talking MCU or Star Wars or it's something my son wants to see. Like, outside of that, I'll wait till it comes. Like, there's a couple of things. I mean, the Oscars just happened or whatever, and I want to see, I've heard good things about Parasite. It's subtitles, so I know I've got to be, like, awake and paying attention, which is not usually my style watching movies.
The best movies, too. The
subtitles. They are. I've heard really good things about Jojo Rabbit.
I don't know anything about that.
So Jojo Rabbit, I don't know anything about it other than, like, there's a kid and he's got an imaginary friend that's Hitler. It's all over the place,
Is it
man.
A comedy?
I don't know.
A dark comedy?
I think it's a dark comedy.
You going Donnie Darko on this?
I again don't know, but I've heard good things about it, so I want to check it out.
Okay.
And then what's the other? There's another one that's kind of in that same vein.
These are movies coming out that you're talking
These are ones that were up for Oscar nominations.
So they've already
come out. Like Parasite and Jojo Rabbit are both on demand for the Xbox.
Okay.
Like you can go get them off the store or whatever.
Oh,
I'm trying to think if there was anything else, but there's been a few movies that have come out recently that had their own fair share of controversy. I mean, obviously you're talking Jojo Rabbit and a kid who has an imaginary friend. It's Hitler. Like, the fuck. That's one that I'll have to check out, and I'll bring back a report when I get the chance to check it out. And then I watched Family was in town. Oh, yeah. Nate was on the show last week. We ended up watching Terminator Dark Fate. But that's another one of those ones that have been through so many things that it's just like,
ladies and gentlemen,
how many times have you seen a Terminator or a Terminator reboot or sequel or whatever?
If I assault this man before the end of this episode, we're going to get to the bottom of this, okay? We're going to get to the bottom of this. But no, if I risk it, I'm on my way to Pittsburgh, okay? I'm going to the headquarters. We're gonna figure this shit out this evening. Terminator what now?
Terminator Dark Fate.
His home movies. Memories.
That's the thing, though. It can't be my memories. It's because they would be more futuristic than I am. No.
These are memories. You've never heard of the what's it called?
What's it called?
The simulation.
Oh, the simulation
theory.
Isn't that like the Matrix, that kind of thing?
Somewhat.
Okay.
The simulation theory is that we're already beyond here.
I believe that, and I think we talked this a few weeks ago about like deja vu and those kind of things.
Something like it.
I had another instance of that recently where I'm
did too.
I've lived this moment, like, and it was.
I did too.
It wasn't anything like spectacular. It was some mundane shit, but I'm like, I've been in this exact spot
just
before.
To confirm that you're a robot, though. The simulation theory is basically saying that we started developing artificial intelligence that was so smart that they took over, like progressed to the point that they could simulate the past to find out how they began. So it's really someone in the future who I guess we would consider God, but it's really the simulator showing how we progressed to the point of developing the first
how we got to that point.
Intelligent being, which would say how we began. So it'd be the same as if we were smart enough to go back to the dinosaur age when the meteor hit to see and simulate it up through to see if we were actually monkeys or if we were cavemen or
basically
if we were...
the ability to go back and kind of watch evolution. And
so that would mean they would still be your memories, even if the movie is in the future.
Oh, just farther in the future.
Because we're beyond this. You're already beyond this.
Oh, I'm actually operating in the year 2120.
Right, we're just simulating this back. I don't know. It could be 2120. Could be sooner than that.
It could be.
Never know. You tell me.
I can't tell you.
This has changed
That's
from
against
a
my
podcast
protocol.
to an interview, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to go grab that light in the corner and shine it directly on him, see if he sweats or if his eyes turn red.
I think it's interesting that you sweat up here and I don't when I outweigh you by probably 100 pounds.
That's because I'm a human.
Oh,
Goodness
man.
gracious.
Yo, I want to give my man Jake a shout out in the chat right now. He's like, we both fell into that bush. He's talking about the hip toss and us both falling into the bush. And then he's calling out that he's heard good things about Jojo Rabbit too, and he wants to check it out. So appreciate it, Jake. Thanks for being out there in the live chat. You know what I love about this so far?
What?
Like, we've done this is what, episode 4?
Uh-huh.
We've had different people in the live chat every week, and I know for a fact that all of them kind of go back and watch it when they have the opportunity to, but I think it's just fun the fact that we've had different people in the live chat every week, and they've contributed different stuff kind of throughout the show.
Right. No, it helps.
Like, I think that adds to something, and I think as we're able to kind of continue to grow this, like, I like that element of this show, like being able to have whoever chime in. Like, we'll chime in if you got topics you want us to talk about.
Right.
Hit us up, and eventually, we ever get our audience up where we want it, we'll charge for that. But for right now, shit, like I like that element to the show and those.
I mean, that's how I feel like it should be.
Absolutely.
If we had enough like live viewers weekly, I would say.
Well, that's where you start like requiring like them to donate in Streamlabs, or else you don't look at like the plain YouTube chat. You only look at like the Streamlabs YouTube or the Streamlabs chat.
Oh wait, so there's a YouTube chat and a Streamlabs YouTube chat?
Yeah, so the YouTube chat is kind of just your normal like
there's
chat
a
live in
foolproof
YouTube. There is a foolproof page. Check us out, foolproof.live. Give us a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff out there on YouTube.
All that shit.
You come follow us on Twitter at the Geeky Coach and at Don't Follow Too Close, but look at the screen because it's not spelled the way that it's supposed to be spelled.
No E.
But yeah, and then check us out at streamlabs.com/foolproof entertainment. That's where you can go in and donate. I do want to give a shout out, my man Jason, first one to ever give us a donation. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, Jason.
But yeah, it's been good so far, and I think I like the style that we got here, man. And I think having Nate on, I think we've got things set up in the studio now where we can add. You know, we did it with Nate last week, but we've got another camera. We could add 2, 3, or 1 or 2 other people to the show if we ever get around to it, or if we've got other people that want to come on.
Whole Jenny Jones situation.
Right, we've got there's you could have up to 3 people on that couch. Now we only have enough ports for 2 more microphones, but people could share. People could share.
Wouldn't that be 3 people though?
Well, we've got 1 and 2, me and you, and then we've got 2 over
one's
there.
not plugged up.
Right.
Okay, I see.
But we have a total of 4 mics that we can do with the mixer that we've got.
Yeah.
It's not bad, man. I think for spending outside of the laptop, spending less than $400, $500, like we got all this set up, and I think it's been good for us. I think it's been a good show.
Listen,
I think we've got good quality too. I mean, I go back and I watch the show, and occasionally, our stream dumps out because WoW is not the greatest internet provider.
Listen.
But hey, man, you got to do what you got to do.
I feel like it's something else.
What are you thinking? Was there something else on the movie tip, the Oscar tip, or on the about the live stream? What you got?
I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear your take. You said that we don't have the same take on gun rights or gun.
You want to go back to that?
Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on that.
So, I am big time in favor of an assault weapon ban. I have mixed feelings on. You know me, I'm not somebody that's into guns. And it's not that I have any grievances with anybody that is. My big thing is don't think there's any need for anyone to own any kind of assault weapon.
We'll see.
Outside of, and I know the arguments against it. If the police have assault weapons, you should have them if they come. Like I don't try to get into the whole they're coming for our guns argument. Like
I mean, it's not even about that. So listen, it's not about that. The way I see it is, and we do have definitely completely different views on guns, but so you have to. The way I see it is like this. Back to the essence of the situation.
Yep.
Before there was a government. Back when we were all just a bunch of fucking wild ones running the streets.
Yep.
And somebody said, you know what? We should start bringing things in line and tighten up this shit. And there were people that had guns, and they said, you know what? I agree with you. We should tighten up this ship. It is getting a little wild. But who's going to be the one that makes the rules? And they said, we will. And the people with the gun said, what makes you... what makes you what's the word?
Who made you king? I don't know.
Right, exactly. And they said, no, we'll keep it with everyone's best interest in heart. Matter of fact, what we'll do is we'll write out a document. And we'll all sign this document. And that'll be what makes us that'll be the thing that binds us, that guarantees no one will go step out of line. And even if we do step out of line, you always have your guns. Now, since then, what has happened? The government has proved to be habitual line steppers. Since then, what has happened? The government has turned on its own citizens in this country. Since then, they have given more signs that they could be turning into that's the one thing that the
Completely
left always
agree.
talk about is a socialist. But what are you going to do? Cry about it?
Right.
Like, honestly, what are you going to do? Cry about it? If they choose to say, yeah, we're done here, wipe all these pussies out.
But the thing is you think an assault weapon's going to help you with that? When you've got multi-billion-dollar pieces of equipment that could wipe out the entire fucking planet?
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
So what's an assault weapon going to do for you when they launch a drone strike?
Because we're home. We're home. Nobody throws a grenade in their house.
I hear you.
Are you going to throw... No, you're not going to throw a grenade in your house.
No, I'm not.
You're going to shoot. Because that takes up less damage.
But what I'm saying is if the government wants to turn on us, Having an AK ain't gonna do shit.
But having nothing
They
at all.
launch a drone strike, you're done before you blink.
But having nothing at all, gives them no reason not to come anywhere.
But do you think that they're actually gonna go hand to hand?
It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what they would do. The fact of the matter is, the loudest people in the situation talking about the hypocrisies and everything are the ones that are like, by the way, take everything.
I hear you.
You can have it.
I hear you.
What for what then? So what is it, just your voice is just the post and annoy everyone else? Cuz I'm more, don't get me wrong, like I would say I'm more dead center. I'm definitely not right.
Yeah.
Definitely
You're more
not,
centrist.
I'm definitely not left though either.
I think my thing is, and this is the way I've always like, I used to have a couple jokes on this, like, who do gun-toting lesbians vote for? I know a couple of gun-toting lesbians that like to go shoot, but who do they vote for?
That's the thing, though.
Like, but that's my thing. Like, I am definitely far left on social issues in general. But you want to get into talking like fiscal? I think I'm more fiscally conservative than the current Republicans. Like, but that's
because you have to be.
Right. And that's the whole thing.
That's not because you want to be, it's because you have to be.
No, I mean, like, in how we should be spending our money. I subscribe to the pulling yourself up by your bootstraps philosophy. I don't think there's a lot of room for entitlements, those kind of things. That does not mean that I don't think that there should be safety net programs for youth, for children. Like, I was reading today, the level of homelessness in students across the country has gone up considerably, and those kind of things. I think children should be protected. I don't think, especially from everybody or anybody that's, the whole pro-life movement. Pro-life doesn't stop at birth is kind of my point. Like, there should be safety nets for children in particular. People under the age of 18, those kind of things.
That's the thing, though. You can't say safety nets for children and people under 18 without giving it to the people that provide for them.
Right.
And those
don't disagree.
And that's the thing. A lot of those are people that are wronging them as well.
Agreed.
You know how many foster parents are collecting money on kids that don't
and not
feed
taking
or
care of
don't
them?
do,
No, I hear
send them
you.
out to the street. It's foster parents that are collecting on kids that aren't even in their home to be collected on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'll kick you out of my house.
Those are the kids that are contributing to this number, probably.
Exactly.
You're not wrong.
Like, it's so like when people say it's so gray, it doesn't make sense. Like, there's no black or white.
And I think that's at the end of the day, I think that's the biggest message. And
but
I think
the bottom line, and I don't mean to cut you off, but what I will say is the bottom line is I don't care if it doesn't help. If the government did choose to turn on everyone, I would still feel more comfortable gripping my assault rifle, waiting for what's about to happen to give them hell, than to be whining and crying about it on Facebook and not have anything to hold them back just from the thought.
I hear you. No,
that's the reason why people don't invade us on the ground to this day. Is because every American has guns. That's gonna, not every, of course, not every, but that's the way it looks to everybody on the outside.
I hear you.
To every other country in the world, that's the way it looks. There's, what is it, Sweden? You have to.
That's why we've been able to stop all those terrorist attacks, right?
You have to work in the army to be able to have a gun. I think that's a great gun law.
What's that? You have to
serve for a specific amount. It's not a long time, 3 months or 6 months in their army before you're able to carry a gun.
There are other countries that basically require a year or two of service.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because then at least you're giving someone training to, now you appreciate what that is when they put that in your hands.
I hear you.
It's a lot of people that don't appreciate that.
No, and honestly, the people that are, for the most part, perpetrating these types of attacks, there are other factors at play. I mean,
Another thing is, take the guns away. You know what guns you can't take away?
The illegal ones that they got that way in the first place. I hear you.
And there's more illegal guns than there are legal guns.
Oh,
Believe that.
no doubt.
That's
no doubt.
a fact, Jack. All the legal guns is behind a counter in a gun store.
Right.
The illegal guns is out there 10-1.
I hear you.
So you take away the one.
You take away the illegal ones, or the legal ones, then the illegal ones are what are left. But
And
I think what you look at that point is what we've, I don't want to say proven. What we have shown is that the more you increase the penalty for the illegal trafficking of goods, the bigger the impact. The problem is that a lot of those things you don't.
I don't know
that
where.
kind of impact.
Yeah, I don't know where that impact is because it doesn't matter. Listen. There's a saying that everybody knows: better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what you're gonna give me for this gun. If I know I need it, it's going to be on me. That's taking away the guns and making it strict. It doesn't change anything because the consequence is death. You think I care about jail time when the consequence is death?
No, I hear you.
So it doesn't matter.
If you feel like that's what you really need, I hear you.
Right, and so it doesn't matter if you take the guns away. There's still going to be guns and people that carry them. And all you did is take them away from maybe some upstanding people that might be able to help if shit goes wrong.
I think the argument though is in all of the instances of mass shooters and everything, it wasn't a citizen with a gun that stopped it. It was law enforcement coming in.
Maybe that's because
2 hours too late, or whatever the case was, or the shooter taking their own life.
Maybe because gun laws are too tight.
Oh, so you just think everybody should be? Well,
no, not everyone.
This arms race, and
not
everybody's armed and ready to go at any given point. This goes back to our earlier conversation about you want to know why kids don't fight anymore because they know they can just go get a gun and shoot them.
No, there's always been
and they're
guns.
Not mentally stable enough to be able to own a firearm.
There's always been guns. What there hasn't always been is participation trophies. There hasn't always been acceptance even in defeat. There hasn't always been all of these things that make kids soft and entitled. Like you said, when you're entitled to something and somebody shuts you down, you feel like they're stopping you from what
I don't disagree. You know I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying on participation trophies and all of that.
If you're stopping me from my very existence, what do you think I'm going to do? That's a natural reaction when you think about it. I'm going to do anything in my power to make sure whoever is stopping my existence is eliminated. But
this goes back to how do they think that they have that right in the first place? Because
participation.
The participation trophy. You're absolutely right.
You're just as good as the team that literally ran you up and down the field or up and down the court.
You, and I mean it goes back to
you're just as good as no, you're not as good as them.
You're not.
Keep working and maybe you can be half as good next year.
Right. And even if you do, you might still not be as good.
And you're going to still need to work.
Suck it up and deal with it.
That's the only thing that will keep someone from being just. And then it's almost like everybody knows them. I'm sorry. Everybody knows them or everybody's had them. The friends where you come in on the weekend and you got a case of beer and they open up your pack. You know what I mean? Just because you've given them beer so much that now they think it's just okay to go in your pack almost as if your beer is their beer. So when you say, bruh, no, you can have that.
Wait, for the record, my beer is always your beer, Cliff.
And my beer is always yours. On that, we can agree.
I don't agree with you hitting the mic, but
I'm gonna have to get used to
you're the one that wanted it on this side of the table. You told me that, right?
Yeah,
this is where you wanted it. It means you got to be more careful.
I'm gonna have to get used to that. Listen, I apologize to everyone's ears who have headphones on.
Hopefully, it doesn't pick up that bad on the I'll edit it out in the audio.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
What's the time code?
You're gonna have to on that one. What were we saying?
We're at about hour 35, so you know.
Yeah, we're about good. We're about good for the week.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna move us on. I got one more topic to talk about.
Before you get into it, though, real quick.
All right, you wanna close us out on the gun?
No, I'm done with the guns.
Okay.
I'm just thinking the date is the 15th.
February 15th.
Next weekend
2020.
is the 22nd.
Our show will be on the 21st because we're a day late today. But yes.
The 20, right.
So we've got
okay, so that's before the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Well, let's talk about that next week.
Yes, no, that's the thing. There was something. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, John Jones almost got his ass whooped.
But he won the fight, Cliff.
Almost got his ass whooped.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
He lost the first 4 rounds.
But he won the fight.
He lost the first.
He's John
4.
Jones.
Listen, they gifted him that.
You think so?
Definitely. No,
I didn't watch the fight.
Don't get me wrong, because you have to beat the champion.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't just beat the champion. You have to beat the champion.
Absolutely.
But it's also John Jones, like you said. To beat John Jones 4 rounds and then to lose it in the 5th.
Well, then you should have ended the fight.
But John Jones didn't end the fight.
No, I know. It went to decision. I was
That's why I'm
disappointed
so
to see
confused.
that. Yeah.
How could you win 4 rounds? He beats the shit out of you in the 5th, and they give it to the champ?
Well, here's what it has to be then.
He really won the first 3 rounds, to be honest, and then the second was leaning kind of Jones, but...
Well, and how do their scoring is like 10-9, right? Like, John Jones wins the round 10-9.
Yeah, I don't think they quite do it like boxing. Well, boxing, if you get knocked down, it's a 10-8 round. You lose 2 points.
Gotcha.
UFC, it's more than a knockdown.
Right.
It could be multiple knockdowns. Like, you have to... A dominant round is a 10-8 round in UFC, but it's not going to be the same as boxing. Because there's only 5 rounds anyway.
Right, exactly. So he must have won around like 10-7. Like they must have given him like a 10-7 or a 10-6 round or something.
And even in the post interview, he was saying, "And I gave it to him in the 5th, and in the 5th, I was just thinking like that's not even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. You stupid.
5th.
Yeah, no, it's not John Jones. John Jones, I'm telling you. Izzy's coming.
Yeah, but Izzy's
coming for him.
He's also won like what 25 straight or something ridiculous. His only loss was a DQ, a bullshit
against,
DQ.
Matt Hamill.
Right, Matt Hamill. Yeah, it's Matt Hamill because Mark Hamill would be Luke Skywalker. Sorry. So yes, Matt Hamill. And it was like for a backward elbow or something, right? Like
he was on the ground
to the point where Dana White has basically tried to say that he wants that DQ stricken because he should still be undefeated.
It should.
Honestly, what that fight might do is Jones might just say, you know what?
In boxing,
might as well hang it up at this point.
In boxing, what it is they'll give you like a no contest or
gotcha,
or it'll be a DQ in like a separate category.
Right. It's almost like a tie kind of deal.
You're 5-0 in this.
Right.
But that tie, it's not a tie. It's a no contest because you headbutted him or
something
know what I mean?
happened.
Exactly.
You Tyson'd him.
Right. But yeah, no, I don't think he should have won it. I can't say that. I can't say I don't think he should have won it, but.
So did you watch it? Or are you doing this all based on reading stuff or seeing replays? And
I watched. I couldn't get through the whole fight. If I'm being honest, what I did was I watched the extended,
the extended highlight,
the 10-minute highlights, and then I was like, well, that's not based on what they were saying. I was like, that's not giving me enough. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean? Like when they were saying he won. So then I watched the actual fight, but I didn't get through it.
Gotcha.
I was like, yeah,
I hear you.
I just can't. Like,
Well,
I have to be in the mood to
and again,
get through
it goes back to my comment last week.
Right, it's just
I
not
watch
enough.
them to see them finish the fight.
Right.
When they go the distance,
It's
I'm
just not
less
enough.
interested.
And I told you this one was probably going to go.
Right. Which, for the most part, his fights haven't. But
Right.
I think as you get,
I knew this dude was,
I think as you get older as a fighter, you're basically trying to hold on and just make things go the distance. Because especially as the champ, guess what? You're probably going to get the benefit of the doubt.
That's 100% correct, and fools can agree on that. But
I would cheers you again, but I don't want you to hit the mic.
Right. Right, and listen, not much to cheers. But shit, I don't even know what I was about to say. Hell.
Anything else on the UFC?
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. I do think that he's better than what people gave him credit for. This Dominic Reyes dude. Like, I do think that he is. I don't think that he'll lose to him twice.
So you think if they were to rematch,
I think.
Do you think he's gonna go to him, or do you think he's gonna go? Damn, what's his name?
To Izzy.
Izzy, yeah.
Izzy still has 2 more fights under his contract before he could move up in weight. So this next fight he has against Yoel Romero.
Okay.
And then he has 1 more. I think they're looking at who'd he say? I don't want to give any speculation because it might not even be an accurate article that I was reading.
Gotcha. In terms of who was lining up.
Right. But I know Yoel Romero's next, and then he has 1 more, and then he said he'd be willing to move to any weight to fight John Jones. So that's most likely going to be light heavy.
The original article I saw was heavy, and I wonder if that was specifically to not make Jones put his title on the line. If that would be more enticing to him.
I think that would be dumb on Izzy's behalf because
it would be Izzy going up 2 weight classes and Jones only going up
3
1.
now.
Oh, it would be 3.
Yeah, because John Jones is light heavy now. Izzy's middle.
Okay. Not welter. Okay.
Right. So,
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, what I saw from Izzy was he basically said, "I'll meet you in heavyweight."
And you got to think, even if they go up to heavy, you got to finish your career there. You're not going to be able to go back down to.
I think.
Unless you go at heavy at 207, 210.
Right.
Like just above 205 and just bet that he can have the heavyweight. I'm faster than him. Won't matter.
And keep the speed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Other than that, you're basically throwing your career away because you're good where you're at.
Right.
You're tall. You're long. Where
you've got advantage in the light. Right. You've got an advantage in light.
John Jones is not gonna come down. You're gonna have to come up. You're already sacrificing 2 weight classes. You're gonna have to put that belt on the line, bruh. Also, you at light heavy.
Unless they want to meet at welter, which you're right, Jones isn't going to do.
Not welter.
Middle. Light heavy. Is it? I thought it was light heavy in the middle. Or is it light heavy?
It's something else.
There's another.
Has to be something else.
I don't know, man. You're our fight guy. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. There's a whole bunch of,
like in boxing, there's a whole bunch of middle, super middle, all kinds of. In UFC, it's not. Yeah, you pull it up.
There's a super welterweight. Let's see. We've got heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight, lightweight. So you're saying Reyes is welterweight? So they would have to meet middleweight? If Reyes is middleweight, that's only 1 weight class below light heavy.
Not Reyes, Adesanya, but
Adesanya, sorry.
What were the what was it again?
It just says heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight, lightweight.
Oh, is that right?
Featherweight, bantamweight, flyweight, strawweight.
Yeah, UFC. I thought that they had something in between. Yeah. Well, yeah, then that would only be one then.
So yeah.
Cause yeah, he's 185. John Jones is 205. That's not that bad.
So if Jones goes up a weight and he goes up too, I don't know, man. Like, I think that would be an interesting fight. The problem is that, again, I haven't been following it. I have started paying more attention to it since we started doing the show, because it seems to be something that we can kind of get into. Is there anything big coming up in the UFC in terms of the next pay-per-view or whatever? I haven't seen any advertisement, but again, I'm not following it super close right now.
I don't even know of too much. I mean, don't far be it for me to down any. I don't know of any too many big fights in the UFC, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't see them. Like we said last week, you don't know what's going to be a good fight in the UFC.
Right, it's almost the ones that you don't expect that end up being a good fight.
Right, but the cards that
fight.
they put on now are just, cards.
Right. Trying to make that money.
So there's fights that
charging
I would like
$50
to see,
a fight.
Right. Yeah, no.
All right. What else you got? Anything?
Nothing comes to mind.
So I got one more topic.
All right.
I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
It appears, based on reports from CNN and some other places, I think NASA's actually the one kind of reporting it out as the source, is we have been receiving, for the last couple of months, a repeating radio signal every 16 days from somewhere out in space.
Okay.
Now, what they believe is that it's coming from a planet that is that is orbiting a star that has since gone supernova.
And what's supernova?
So supernova basically means the star itself has collapsed.
Okay.
And it's no longer there. So there's theories like, was this a last minute distress call that somebody a long ways away sent out before their star exploded, before their sun exploded? Okay. And I just kind of want to get your thoughts on it, man. Like, I love thinking about this kind of stuff because, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think that you can be educated and believe that we are the only people in this universe.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like, the universe is awfully big. We have just our solar system. Yes, we're the only habitable planet here, but...
The only what planet here?
Habitable?
Yeah. Habitable?
Habitable. Thank you.
Tried to slide past that.
Oh, I tried. Usually I'm better than that.
No, I couldn't.
Habitable
call that out.
Planet in our solar system, but there's got to be other ones that live in the habitable zone elsewhere.
Right.
So I think it got me thinking, kind of the inadvertent thought of, are we going to see extraterrestrial life come to Earth? Probably not within our lifetime, but maybe in our kids' lifetime, or who knows. And the reason I started thinking about that was, let's say that these people sent out a distress call. What if they sent like a single ship off of their planet when their star went supernova?
All right.
Or,
I mean, you would have to at that point,
right? Like you'd have to try to save what you could.
If you had any sort of technological life or advanced life,
or if you could send a radio signal that could still be picked up.
So you have a choice here.
So what are your choices?
Either you stay around for this day after tomorrow Earth type shit that's about to happen, like crazy floods and freezes at the same time type shit.
Right.
Or you say, I'll volunteer to get in the pod.
MARS.
Mars, bitches. I'll get in the pod, sir.
No doubt.
Because either I
well,
die...
but you know it won't be you and I that get to go. It'll be the Jeff Bezoses and the Bill Gates and the Warren Buffetts.
I don't think I would want to go.
Oh, you wouldn't want to leave?
I think I'd much
you
rather
just
die
suck
here.
it up and see if you can make it and try to survive here?
For sure.
I hear you.
Because, listen, I have a VR.
Oh, yeah?
And I still get anxiety in the space situation.
I thought it was just on the open sea. Is
Water
space too?
and space.
Water and space.
Oh, I guess
those trips to space really got you, huh? You got more money than I think you do.
Listen, Wider in space, boy, just the vastness of it. I don't know. Just to be so insignificant in that big of a picture, and it's too much for me.
It's just too much.
Space. I couldn't look out the window.
No. You mean out the, like, if you were on a spaceship.
Right, like I couldn't look out. Just
see, but that's the thing, is that you've got, there's
death.
examples of, like,
I'd die.
Have you seen Avenue 5? Mm-mm. Avenue 5 is a new show on HBO, and it's I like to jokingly call it it's the adult prequel to WALL-E, which is another Pixar movie.
I know what you're talking about, but I never saw it.
And it's got Hugh Laurie, Dr. House. He's like the captain of the ship, but he's not really a captain. He's basically a fraud, and they just hired him because he was a good actor.
Right.
But
so
basically,
it's like that movie.
Kinda. It's like the ship goes off course, and now like it won't get back to Earth on the 3-week. It's kind of like Gilligan's Island in the sense that like it was on like a 3-week cruise out around the solar system and back.
Right.
And they got knocked off course, so they're going to be gone for like 6 years or some shit. But yeah, that was the I don't remember where I was going with that.
Yeah, I wish you did. I would like to know.
But anyway, so there's shows like that kind of give a different viewpoint of, you know, obviously I'm a Star Trek fan, but that's another lens on like normal people going out on kind of a pleasure, like basically a cruise, like you would go out on the open ocean here,
right?
But it would be in space,
right?
So that was kind of bringing it back. Was I think that there would be opportunity for ships like that in the future. I don't think that we're to that point today. Like if we were to find out that our star
another existence,
right?
Though.
But if we're talking about alien life forms millions or billions of miles away, what are the chances that they can tell that we picked up their radio signal?
Doesn't matter. Wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if somebody did pick up the radio signal. What she would do is she would shoot that pod or that ship out in the direction that you feel that you would reach the closest.
The closest that you would reach like a habitable planet.
So for us, it would be Mars.
It'd be Mars or the moon.
Mars would, right, but we can't live on the moon.
If you had... I think my point is that if you had enough to kind of launch a mission like that, you could probably launch it with the equipment necessary to make that habitable.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because I think you could do that with the moon or Mars.
Mars, you know, but
Mars,
would moon be closer?
The moon would definitely be closer.
Okay. So
the moon would take like a couple of days to get to. Mars would take probably
years.
a couple. I think it's 7 months, 8 months.
Oh, really?
I think that's what it took the rover to get.
Okay, that's not that bad. So what I'm thinking is 16 days.
16 days.
So we got that signal every 16 days.
Yeah.
Now,
which is why I don't think, like, my initial thought when I heard this was we're picking up like background radiation from the star going supernova. But the fact that it would be
it's a pattern.
They're saying that it's just a repeated signal.
So
they can't identify what the signal is. And if it weren't happening every 16 days, like if there wasn't a pattern to the signal, I would say that it's just background radiation that we're picking up from a star going supernova.
It almost is like a Morse code.
Because it's repeated, it's like they kept sending it.
The question is, we know that it's not a consistent beep. There's a pattern. Could the pattern indicate distance? And if so, we know that the pod can't. We don't know that it can't. I
think we know generally where it's coming from. Like I think they identified the star in the solar system where it's coming from.
What I'm getting at here, though, is you said in our lifetime would we see alien life. Now, if they have technology that could travel at the speed of sound, we could be seeing alien life within 16 days.
No, because radio signal travels faster than the speed of sound.
Okay.
So, and it doesn't quite travel. Radio waves don't travel at the speed of light. But just because we're hearing it repeat every 16 days, that doesn't mean that it was sent 16 days ago. That just
Oh, no,
means
I
by
get
the
that.
time it's getting to us, there's
Right.
16 days between it.
Right.
So they could have sent it 100 years ago. I don't know. I don't.
you're
I don't know how long or
Okay,
how long
I
it
get
takes
that.
radio waves to travel.
Listen, I'm a
But-
fool. I'm just trying to, spitfire here. See.
Yeah, no. I think it's fascinating to hear stuff like that, and
I feel like, how do we know that they're not here already?
right. Absolutely. There's plenty of sci-fi examples of people like me and the Terminator coming out and
Right. Definitely don't trust
making
them.
you think that we're different people.
I made it the whole episode and you still have a face, so we're doing all right.
Oh man. I think on that note,
Just love everybody.
we're at about an hour 55. I think. Go ahead, man. You wanna take us out with your love everybody?
Just love everybody, except if they went to Carnegie Mellon. Then look right below the chin and get them right there. Somewhere where you won't cause too much damage, but you can still see mechanics up under the skin.
You can see the red eyes start to glow.
Right, Just in case you're wrong, they're like, okay, well, you didn't actually try to kill him. You just gave him a nice little
right there.
scar on the chin.
You're a fool. All right, we'll see you all next week. Have a good one.
All right.